Well, an OBB stated this week that the children can lead us, and they did in a 41-7 dominating performance that met all the eye tests available. Ro, what is it?
It's the recap show. It's the recap show. And you know what? When you pick Miami to lose against NC State, we kick you off the show.
Banished.
No, he's not feeling good. You got 2 out of 3 that are not feeling tip top. we're trying. It's the end of the season. We got to push through. And the Miami Hurricanes definitely pushed through this week, Toast.
100%. Listen, man, this is everything that we've been wanting to see. As I said, this is the best they've looked since September. This was the sort of full dominating performance you wanted to see that met, as I said, all the eye tests. They didn't get a playoff in our offensive end until there was just under 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That was the first time they ran a play on our side of the 50. I mean, so you can't, there's nothing to, the second and third stringers gave up that final touchdown, whatever, it is what it is. But there is not a single knock that you can come out of this game when it comes to the resume that we're talking about that's going to need to be talked about at the end of the year. There's not a single knock you get in this game. Everything out of this game is a positive for you.
I think you won twice. I think you won in the scoreboard, and then I thought you won in the hearts and the minds of the playoff committee too. How couldn't you? I mean, that was as dominating of a performance. There were some stats thrown around in the WQAM postgame show, and when they were talking, if it would have been a shutout, it would have been like the first since 1994, and essentially it was a shutout. If we kept our first teamers in there, it was as dominating of a shutout as you could have ever had. And, I go, Toast, I think back to my 3 keys, right? Key number 1 was, hey, you're on cutback alert. Watch that cutback lane. The defense said, hold my beer. We're going to shut down all traffic. Like, they're not running anywhere. A gap, B gap, cutback, D gap, C gap, E gap. It didn't matter. So did you know, and he was healthy this week too, the leading ACC rusher was Smothers, right? He was the leading ACC rusher. He had 7 carries. Other homie got 7 carries. Do you know how many yards he got? The leading ACC rusher.
Yeah, I do. But you go right ahead.
No, you say
it. His net was -2.
Oh, no, this is not good.
It is really not good. I mean,
this is really not good.
Oh, my goodness. And then I think that was key number 1 for me. Key number 2 was the play action pass. But I want to touch on this because they didn't really have time to get in their play action pass. As dominating of a performance as it was, there was a stat that actually jumped out at me. How many sacks we had? We only had 1 sack, which means to me they learn from Louisville. Sometimes teams aren't going to let you really pin your ears and kind of take over. But Akeem Messidor had the only sack when he held onto the ball a little bit longer than he probably should. But all those quick passes underneath for CJ Bailey, none of them worked, Toast. None of them worked. They were in the bag all night long on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, and one of those reasons why, while there was only 1 sack, Row, and Roddy made reference to this, there was carnage at CJ Bailey's feet all game long. He wasn't able to just sit back there and step into throws. Guys were coming one side, this side's collapsing, guys. They may not have actually sacked him but that one time, but he was not comfortable at all from the jump. I mean, this defensive line was all over them from the rip.
So fascinating listening to Akeem Messidor in the postgame, because when he talked, he said, well, it depends what type of quarterback you're playing. So our game plan today was violence. And it's exactly what Heatherman, Dr. Doom, how you doing? He preached it. And he said, exactly, you're doing great, my man. And they were told, basically, we want to throw people into his lap. We don't want him to escape in front like he did against Georgia Tech a few weeks ago. They wanted him to have just the pressure all around him and kind of force them to throw. And I thought that was a brilliant move because, Tosh, key number 3 for me was don't let that kid have a homecoming. That had all the hallmarks. We've seen this show before. The hometown kid that gets spurned is going to Teddy Bridgewater our ass and just you down taunt all day. We kicked their ass so bad. This is how bad of it. Don't look at the score, the yardage, third downs, none of it. You want to know how bad we kicked their ass? We didn't see one down taunt. That's how bad we kicked their ass. He had no chance at a homecoming.
Nope.
0. And here we are. 3 keys, all on the defensive side of the ball. We met all 3. And we haven't even talked about the offense because the defense was so damn good.
Listen, I'll be honest. I only want to talk about the defense because when we start talking about the offense, I'm going to start getting annoyed. Okay. I want to stay positive.
All right, we'll stay on the defense.
Great day. This was a great day.
Okay. Because we haven't even talked about the all-star of defense.
Yeah, and if this goes the way that I think, man, we're going to have a long offseason to be talking about the offense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious.
Let's just keep the positive stuff right now. But, bro, like this defense is ridiculous, bro. It travels. You can just tell it's not going to have any. This defense deserves to be in the college football playoff. We'll see whether or not that happens. Today was not a great day in terms of that for stuff that we don't control. But man, like Heatherman, bro, like we need to hold him, bro, for at least another 3 to 4 years before JT can take over.
You guys asked me where my blind faith was coming. I was like, well, I think it's a little bit less than blind. I think I got like one blindfold over off one eye and maybe one still blinded. But I was like, I know our defense is damn good. Like our defense has been solid all year long. Our defense maybe even is better than damn good. And here we are. And we're singing the praises. And then we haven't even talked about Jacoby Thomas. And have you seen the clip? It's viral, like what he did on his interception pick 6, what he did at the very end of it. He told CJ Bailey, come here.
Yeah.
I got time for you. Come here.
Listen, you lose Keontae Scott, but Jacoby steps up. Bryce Fitzgerald had a great game. Like next man, like everyone just steps up, man. And this defense is averaging, giving it 14.2 a game now. Is what it's down to on the season. 9 first downs today for North Carolina State. Dude, it was, just in case you were curious, the total yards 581 to 143. And we had a turnover too. We lost that fumble, our first fumble loss of the season.
So defense was phenomenal.
Let's talk about
defense was phenomenal. But one of the things to wreck the homecoming, and I will say this because I made a comment. I was like, "There's something that was jumping out of me," and I hinted at it on the weekly show, on the big show. But I said it. I was like, watching film all this year, and this is not a knock against CJ Bailey, but it was one thing that was glaringly obvious to me, and that was I just didn't think he had the zip on the ball like other quarterbacks do. Like I've watched every ACC foe this week, and I felt in terms of actual arm strength, I felt like he didn't have that. Right? I'm being honest. I'm not trying to pile on the kid. He's a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal talent. So when you get that pick 6, and it seems to just float out there just a little bit longer than it needed to, that was the thing where I felt like, hey, if you can kind of put him in situations where he's got to try to do like a wide ball out to the outside or try to force a ball deep or something, I think you could get him. And they definitely got him this week.
I know he's local. Don't want to pile on the kid. But that was my concern with him coming out of high school. And let's also be honest, he had the 2 best receivers in terms of a team coming out in that class in terms of Jeremiah and Georgia. So he had guys that were making him look really, really good as well. What I saw today, Ro, was certainly enough to know that if we are going to be hitting the portal for a quarterback in the offseason, I don't think we need to look in that direction.
I think so too. I mean, if other guys are going to kind of like partake, maybe there's this one guy out in South Carolina right now. Maybe we watch his.
I'm not even sure we want to go in that direction, bro.
I mean, you might have a DJ Lagway. Not that you want to go into that direction
Jesus,
too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck are you talking about? But this is rehabilitation U for a quarterback. This is the same destination spot. After you got fired as a head coach, you got fired. You wanted to end up on Nick Saban's staff. That was last chance U. Now this is last chance for quarterbacks.
Not quite. We got to wait and see what happens with Carson in terms of the draft. Can he salvage his season here? These last few games, maybe get a playoff appearance that boosts things up. Like we got to see what happens there.
Oh, he's got to finish strong
because right now it might be a one-off with Cam.
Yeah, it could be, but I still think it's attractive enough that okay, you get 10
Well,
and 2,
we
you
have
get in the
money,
playoffs.
bro. We'll always be
Yeah.
able to attract somebody if we're paying $4 million a year.
And in terms of CJ Bailey's direction, yeah, rough go. If that was an audition to maybe come back home, not saying that it does, but here's the deal. When you face a defense like Miami's, who were a step ahead, and they're like, we're going to collapse the pocket, we're going to force you to try to beat us with your arm. And when you can't, because the defense on the back end can cover, that's something like you need a playoff caliber hump quarterback that can get over that. Like the Miami Hurricanes proved today that CJ Bailey, when forced to be in the pocket and be a pure pocket passer, struggled. And I agree, Toast. Maybe that wasn't the best, script that you read today, but we might have you come back for a second reading.
Well, listen, as we're getting to this point in the season, as I say, this is the best, in my opinion, that this team has looked since September. And we talk about the amount of money that was invested in this secondary. They continue to shine. Xavier Lucas had a phenomenal that pass interference that he did get called on was absolute BS. Just because he didn't turn his head, but he wasn't touching his body.
Yeah, he was playing through the receiver, which is totally fine. You just got to have it was a 50-50 call, but when you look at it back, it wasn't PI. So it was what it was. It could have went in either direction, but still phenomenal coverage.
Listen, we invested that money well. Like they fixed that. This whole defense has been fixed. Hopefully that carries over. And yeah, I mean, let's talk about the offense because Ro, I mean, this is, and I'll be honest, like when I look back at this season, I'm not going to be really pissed about the Louisville game. Listen, you're not going to go undefeated. Like there's going to be a loss. There's going to be a stumble. That was that first game after only having one game in 27 days. You had 4 interceptions from your quarterback. It was just, you lost by 3. It was just, for me, it's the SMU game, man. And Ro, if we had seen some of this play calling against SMU, we would have won that game going away. And that is, if we don't make this playoff, man, this entire offseason, all we're going to be talking about is how this staff, not the players, how the staff failed this team in terms of getting into the playoff.
So I see why you have that mood now, because you're looking at it from my perspective. When I was on the show, I was like, I still have hope. I still have hope. And I was like, Pedro Serrano hit a curveball. And now, yes, we have every right to gripe about the fact that it's a little late. It was just a little late. And you weren't smart enough to figure out the rate of change. You were 14-14 in ACC play when you lost that game. Now you're 16-14 after that game. Congratulations. You have a plus winning record in the ACC. But we've seen this before, and you couldn't figure out the rate of change. Now you have. So let's talk about that, and then we'll talk about the rate of change. We'll talk about what's different, what's new. You're right, Toast. If it happens that way, we're going to feel cheated. We're going to feel back-to-back murderer's row in terms of you were up 21-0 and you lost it. And this time it was like you were so conservative in that part of the season, you couldn't overcome that. And here we are again. It's a new 21-0.
But it'll be back-to-back 20-4 record with nothing to show for it.
Yeah, you're 20-4 if you get. Now, here's what I think. There's some things that have to go down, right? Vanderbilt's got to play Tennessee. In Tennessee. That's going to maybe knock somebody out. You wanted Alabama to beat Oklahoma, let's be honest, and they
yes, you did. They didn't. You need Texas to lose twice. You need Texas to lose tonight, and
they've already lost twice. They've already lost.
But they need to have 4 losses, bro. Because 3 losses, they might still be in front of us.
I'm not real worried about if they lose again.
And against A&M, I'll tell you. You know which one's pissing me off when I'm looking at it, Ro? I'm looking at the full body of work, and I don't see how Utah can be in front of us if we both finish at 10-2. They played no one in a non-conference. Absolutely nobody. Wyoming, Cal Poly, like nobody. Yeah. So that one's pissing me off because they're 2 spots in front of us.
So, but they would play a Big 12 championship against they're going to play Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
So at that point,
if they lose that,
they're out. So there's a good chance that they're going to be out, right? And if Texas Tech loses that, depending where it is, that's the crapshoot. So
no, Texas Tech is in.
I think Texas Tech is legit, but what I'm saying is I see Texas Tech bouncing Utah even in a loss, but then you don't want that because Utah could go ahead and leapfrog and say, we beat Texas Tech. So it's going to come down to Texas Tech for them. somebody in the SEC championship game is going to lose. Hopefully they got a buffer.
Bro, today
Maybe
wasn't
Alabama.
a good day for us for the CFP. It just wasn't. It wasn't a good day for us.
But SMU turns around and loses to Clemson. That ends up being good. Georgia Tech.
But it was bad for the
again.
ACC because Georgia Tech struggles against an Boston College team. So that doesn't make the conference look any better in terms of strength. I mean, I know any given
2 more weeks to go. You got to look at their records.
I know.
The only safe teams right now look like Ohio State, Texas. Alabama's playing a nobody, and then they play Auburn. Yep. So they're going to be right on the cusp. Let's see how far they drop down, because guess what? If they drop down, we have a chance to get in front of them. You never know, because I know, because they have that patch extra 1+ economics. So yeah,
no, the ACC
only one that hurt. The only one that hurt.
Yeah.
Oklahoma needed to lose. That's the one that hurt.
Yeah, and that ACC collectively should fine and kick Pitt out of the conference. What an embarrassing show that was. And
you know what? We need to go ahead and follow suit, because the pressure's
now
on.
We have to we have to put it win by 40.
But let me ask you a question. And then we'll start talking about the offense. Let me ask you a question. If the Miami Hurricanes finish strong, like this kind of strong, do you think they're going to get in if they did exactly what they did? Because it matters, right? That doesn't matter about the conference. I'm just saying, do you think they get in if they did exactly what they just did?
Bro, if they look like today, the final 2 games, they put on that sort of a display of domination, here's my issue. They 100% will belong in, and in my view, will absolutely have a resume that has them in, and I can absolutely see them being left out.
Yeah,
for a 3-loss SEC team, I could see it happening. I could, because they wouldn't have a chip for the ACC. They wouldn't even have played in it. So I can see that being an issue.
I disagree with you.
Fucked, bro. I can see us.
I disagree with you. This is the only reason why I disagree with you. Here's the only reason why I disagree with you. Because the playoff committee, with all his heat, would get so much heat turned up. They're going to have about 5 SEC teams in. They might have 6 SEC teams. You're making the case for a 7th over Miami, who would possibly have a better record and finish stronger than they do. And at that point, they're a 3-loss team. They're not going to put in a 3-loss team in the SEC. If there was 2 SEC teams, they would jump Miami for a 3rd. But they're not. I mean, Texas A&M's going to be in. Georgia's going to be in. You're going to see Oklahoma in, Alabama in. Right? 1 plus 1 more. They're not going to take a 3-loss Texas team and jump us. No.
Listen,
no
the reality is, when you look at who is in this committee and who is in that room, it is all a bunch of old white guys. Some of them former players, some of them former administrators. One woman in that room, and she's the only one in there that's representing the ACC. She's either like the AD or president or whatever at University of Virginia. I think it's Miss Williams. You need to be strong against those dudes. You need to hold their feet to the fire. You need to stand for the ACC. You cannot let them shut the ACC out. You cannot.
And you know, listen, Toast, it can't be us. We know this. One of these teams ahead of us is going to lose. 1, 2. There's just no way. There's no way that all the people we need to lose are not going to lose. This is college football this time of year. Too many championship games. People are going to lose.
Yeah, I'm curious. I hope that today's performance leapfrogs Vanderbilt, just on the performance. Vanderbilt was off today, right? I think they had a bye.
Correct.
I believe so. I'm hoping that we leapfrog that, so we beat it to at least at 14. Oklahoma hurt, bro. Oklahoma hurt. If they had gotten that 3rd loss, I think they're kind of out. But now I think they may have actually just punched their ticket.
But no, but but listen, it's tough for them too, because I looked at their back record too. They got to go on the road to play.
They got Missouri and LSU at
Missouri.
home.
Yeah, Missouri's tough.
Home. I know.
Yeah.
Well, no, Missouri lost their quarterback though, so I don't know. I mean,
that kind of hurts. But Missouri.
This was the game they needed. I can't believe they went to Alabama and won that game. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Now Alabama has 2 losses. Blah 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 blah.
But they're going to be
3 losses. But then the 2-loss teams, the SEC 2-loss teams and 1-loss teams are going to be in. 3-loss teams will not jump Miami at 2 losses. I will not with the strength of record that they have.
I wouldn't think so, but I wouldn't put it past
I'm going to call
SEC.
it no, because at that point they have 4 or 5 teams in. They would literally get lobotomized, right? All of the committee members.
No, they would, but I don't know that they care, bro. They would get destroyed in the media, and there would be huge backlash, but I don't know that they care. And I don't
And
know that the backlash would turn into anything formative in
I
terms
want to
of down the
switch because
line.
we're going to talk about all this every which
We
way from
will.
Sunday
Well,
to week.
especially on Wednesday after the rankings come out.
Yes, after rankings come out. But I will tell you this too. Miami doesn't have the SEC patch +1 economics. I think maybe it's, if we look at it in theory, they have a +2 because of what they do in terms of TV ratings. The SEC plus the patch gives them a +2. But you are nuts. University of Miami has killed it in TV ratings this year. I have it on good authority. Their ROI was met in then some in terms of TV ratings and market share.
Yes.
So guess what?
Oh, they're a brand.
You want an Oklahoma versus Miami week 1? That's going to be great. Or do you want an Oklahoma like just, Missouri or Oklahoma Vanderbilt? Nobody's watching Oklahoma Vanderbilt. Everybody's watching Oklahoma Miami.
No, I will say
that's
this.
Just facts.
It looks like now, so I don't know. Let's see who their final games are. But South Florida screwed the pooch. They're eliminated now. So we've got, so basically it looks like it's now James Madison. If they can beat Washington State and Coastal Carolina their last 2 games, then they will most likely be the group of 5 because they will be ranked in the top 20 at that point. Because right now they're in the top 25 of the coaches or the AP. So there could be a group of 5 that does get in. So, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So we got to win out. Just win out and look the part. But
just win out and look the part. So let's talk about looking the part today. So back-to-back weeks, Pedro Serrano's hitting a curveball. Back-to-back weeks. So, excuse me. And they kind of did something. I watched student of the game, and as I'm watching, I'm like, this young man needs more touches. And I said, this young man looks exactly like another freshman who's playing, but he's in the running back position. Hello, 17 carries, 116 yards. Your first ever start as a true freshman, against an ACC defense, back end of the year, comes in, not one negative rush. Not one rush did he have went for negative yards. Everything was at least positive. It's impressive, Toast.
Listen, he's a little bowling ball. It's great. And he was elusive. He was able to kind of squeeze between people. And he's got burst. Listen, but also just, and maybe he was seeing some lanes, and maybe when you get to look at the all 22, it'll kind of show maybe there were some holes he was seeing that other running backs haven't. But it just looked to me like he was given more opportunity to go to the outside row. There was more stuff that was going towards the tackles than going towards the center. And
but
it's
funny?
So I mean, I love it, but it was like, which shows me you adjusted to his strengths, right? So why? Like we get frustrated. Successful runs. Show that you're smart enough to see it, and why didn't we always see it?
It took too long. Yes. But here's the deal too. What I found was fascinating, at least watching it live. Brown actually got a lot more outside zone carries too than he normally does too. So I don't just think it's a him thing, because they did it too. Because there was one play he tried to go outside. I thought they met him in the alley and they're like, "Oh, we know what you want to do with this kid. You want to run him outside because he's got the speed." He did a lot more damage inside today. In terms of last week, he did more damage outside. This week, he did damage inside. So that's what I like. That you have Pringle, and he has the ability to factor in multiple different styles and schemes and do what you need to do. He's quick enough to get outside, and he's good enough inside. And I will tell you this, because I was watching a replay and I was watching it live. Toast, you can't see him. You can't see him behind the offensive line.
Right.
The offensive line. Frank, I'm with my son. We go to the game today. He's like, "Dad, we are so big." I was like, "Yeah, we have like one of the biggest offensive line." And then you get Pringle. And it's like he's getting lost. They're like a step slow because they're like, where did he go? And I almost think it's like perfect because he's just got this natural ambush element because he's in a room full of like trees. So he's just like just scooting in and out. And I thought it was amazing. Also had factored in the passing game. Oh my goodness, that one bag play that they missed, that he was wide open too.
Oh, wide open with Malachi throwing. Yeah.
Yes.
Open. Just so open. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, so here's my thing. At some point this week, was there a meeting between Mario, Mirabal, and Dawson when Dawson was like, "Listen, man, you've got to let me be a little bit more progressive or proactive, whatever it is, with my run calls. Like, you've got to let me, we have to do something and open this up a little bit." Like, was there a conversation?
You know I'm smiling, bro. You know I am smiling. It's like we're good at being smoke alarms. We can come at it and tackle for them. We're like, listen, this kid needs more touches. You need to run outside. You need to diversify the portfolio. You guys aren't smart enough to figure this out. And suddenly they get smart enough to figure it out. You score. You almost have 600 yards of offense. And it looks like the funnest offense on the planet.
Yeah.
Just interjecting a couple bag plays, just doing a couple things, even putting Malachi Tony at running back. Then they're isolating him on one-on-one and a linebacker, and like the linebacker can't cover him. And I'm like, that's a bag play because you're using your personnel, you use shifting and you use motion, and you're just even doing that. It's
Bro,
crazy to me.
I'm not sure that I've ever seen what I think might have been a flea flicker running back screen.
Yeah. Tight end screen. Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
That was this to us. He's like, oh, I'm not creative. I'm not smart enough. I'll show
I've
you.
never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
Now, I do understand. I am smiling. It was a wonderful day for the University of Miami. It was a wonderful day for me. I got to go with my son.
Yeah.
Even though I still don't feel good. But I'm literally walking to the aisle and I see somebody with our OBB, like it is what it is shirts. Super, super cool. Shout out to the Fort Lauderdale Fire Department. And then I'm walking up the aisle to go use the restroom and I'm stopped. They're like, bro. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? He's like, we're in our bag, brother. We're all these bag plays. And I'm like, hey,
listen, man, Santa, he's coming. You got a bag full of plays.
Yeah, and it's funny because you see it now. You have somebody at running back who can factor. He's not missing the holes. It wasn't Carson Beck this week. It was Carson Beck. He's back, you know. I got to give a lot of credit to Marion because he's that with CJ Daniels out too. We were strong. He's played well. He's just stacking good games after good games. He was the leading receiver again. Almost had 100 yards receiving. He was one-on-one on the outside. They were pushing it.
Elijah Lofton got a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a great play too. Kind of out of pocket, out of schedule, off schedule play that Carson Beck manufactured there. That's not like his strong suit this year. Out of pocket, out of schedule plays, but that one kind of was a little out of schedule, and he made a dime throw. I don't know. It's so funny to me how this offense is just so much more fun. It's so much more fun.
It was night and day, bro.
It is.
You have it. Like, what happened the last few weeks? Like, what? I don't understand.
I think you nailed it. I think it might have been something similar. Maybe it's Mrs. Dawson because Mr. Dawson doesn't have social media. It's probably a smart thing, but Mrs. Dawson does. And maybe Mrs. Dawson listens. I mean, she said, hey, there's these crazy dudes on this podcast. There's one dude, he doesn't know shit about plays like you do, but he does say some like casual things that make sense. Maybe you should run the ball outside a little bit. Maybe you should get a little bit more creative. Maybe that's all it took.
Oh my God.
Awesome. That's it. It was like, we've never said we know more than you, but what we do know is we've seen Miami Hurricane football for the better part of decades, and we know what it looks like when it's right. And we watch college football, and we see what they do when it's right. We just knew that the Miami Hurricane football, the offensive side of the ball, was wrong. And you had a chance to make it right, and you had a chance to do it, and it just happens to be exactly in line the way we told you to do it. And that's why we're smiling. At least I am.
Just please don't be too late, man. Please just give us, win this out and just give us a shot. Just give us a shot because this defense will show up in a playoff game. The offense, I have no idea, bro. I don't know if the offense will show up or will throw four. I have no idea. What I know, though, is the defense will show up and it'll be a game at least through the first half. We won't embarrass ourselves.
I think there's a couple.
We won't pull an FSU.
I think there's a couple teams that would give us fits, but our defense.
I think there's a few teams that absolutely give us fits. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm going to be 100% honest. Because of the defense, we are in the heavyweight division. And like, we have a puncher's chance with anybody in the country. I don't care who you are.
Yes.
I don't care. We beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's scheduled to be a playoff team. They were playing in a national championship a year ago. They looked apart for the rest of the season. They're doing what they need to do. Chances are they're getting in. We beat you. Right? We took other people's best punches. We lost 2 games by 1-score games. We have blowout wins in conference now. If we do what we need to do, we deserve to be in, and we can bang with anybody. No matter who you put us up against, we have the opportunity to come in here. And here's the thing too, Toast. Like I almost, when now you add Pringle, and I was hinting about this, when you have Pringle, you have Malachi Tony, and you have Marion upticking. Those dudes are fast.
Yes, they are.
They are fast.
Speed
they are
kills,
mismatched.
baby.
Yes, they are mismatched nightmare. Like that's what you want to know why you almost got 600 yards of total offense today. Yeah, you got creative. You opened some things. You put that dude one-on-one, and then Carson Beck's like, I'll take this one. I'm like in my seat. I'm like, one-on-one. I got a couple randos too. They're like, man, who are you? I'm like, oh no, I just saw the one-on-one. The safety was on the other side of the field. Just take the one-on-one all day. I'm calling a couple plays here and there. Yeah. It's something I do. But I'm like, yeah, but if you want to go one-on-one, you want to challenge it, Marion just blew the top off of it. You know, Malachi Tony still gets 2 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, easy ones, just easy. Right. It was a great performance. Just stack the chips, though. Every game is a playoff game. We're going to keep challenging you, Miami. You have to go ahead and have the same game plan.
The next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks, hopefully you get in. I'm hopeful that you will. If you
need to win by 30 minminimum,
and then do the same thing and do the same thing and win a playoff game or two and shock the world. I don't know.
Here's the good thing. I mean, let's be honest. The VodTech game is what, going to be a 3:00 game, I guess. I mean, VodTech is whatever. The Pittsburgh game now is not going to be a primetime game. So it's either going to be a noon game or it's going to be a 3:00 game.
Friday. I think it's Friday.
Is it a Friday night game? The Pittsburgh game?
I think.
No. We don't have 2 Friday night games.
No, it's Saturday the 29th.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Well, either way, whenever they play that game, because whatever, Fox plays his biggest games at noon, so who cares? That game is your AC. Listen, no matter who's in the ACC championship game, that game against Pitt is your ACC championship game.
Yes.
And you play it like, if I win, I'm in. If
100%.
I win, I'm in. I have the head-to-head schedule. I beat Notre Dame. I have the strength of schedule. I have strength of schedule over all these other SEC teams. I beat an SEC team. I played a good out-of-conference schedule. I'm 10-2. I'm getting in. And that's it. And then you take the same formula and you go into the playoffs and everybody's happy.
Yeah. Listen, it's as I said, these two, we said after that they were going to have to go 4-0 to close out the season. They're now 2-0. They have looked the part in both those games. They got 2 more now, both on the road. The Pitt game obviously will be the scariest of them, I believe, just because it'll be the coldest. We'll see what the weather's looking like a couple weeks from now. Yeah, exactly. So
get chillers. I'm dead ass serious.
But there's no excuses, Ro. But there's no excuses. You got to go out there. This staff has to have them ready. There's no slow starts. You have to come out and you got to kick the living shit out of these next 2 teams and look the part and win by a minimum of 30.
You're auditioning for a playoff spot. You are on audition every time you hit.
You're on the runway right now, bro.
Yes,
you got to ass. Show the tits, boost it up, boost them up. Yeah,
you got to walk on. Yeah, like, look at me, look at me.
Yeah,
and I think they're finally getting the message.
Give him a little camel toe. Give him a little camel toe.
He's got probably a big ass camel toe. If we're gonna be honest. Anyway. And we don't name recap shows, but that would be it.
No, that was on the list. Yeah.
yeah. We don't name recap shows. Oh, yeah, my boy, too. He was throwing cherries doused in moonshine. I probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah. I don't want to get moonshine cherries?
Yeah, when you scored touchdowns. So, like, moonshine. Yeah, I was like,
I like that.
Frank was like, I want a cherry. And I'm like, not this one. You don't.
Not that one. I want those cherries. Hell yes.
You're young. Yeah, moonshine cherries.
Moonshine cherries.
Yeah, it was strong. I'm like, dude, is this whiskey? He's like, nah, bro. This is moonshine. I was like, damn. Well, Miami Hurricanes definitely they definitely moonshine waxed that ass. So that was
they looked the part, baby. They looked the part.
Look, NC State just beat Georgia Tech, who was undefeated.
Yeah.
That's going to turn some heads. They didn't get to it, our side of the field, until the 4th quarter.
Under 5 minutes left, like 4:54 was the first play they ran. They
just beat an undefeated team. They put up over 500 yards against Georgia Tech. That was
listen. The committee put us above all the other ACC teams because they do. There's a reason why they believe that we're the best. We are. We have the most talent. We've spent the most money. We should be in the ACC title game. We should be winning this division right now, undefeated. We should, but we friggin' stepped on our dick a couple of times. But the committee does understand that we are the best team, and they're looking for us to show it coming in the stretch. And then I think with I legitimately believe that if we look the part these last 4 games with our resume row, we will have people fighting for us in that room.
Big time. Big time.
Just
Not the Utah guy.
The resume's there. Yeah,
not the Utah guy.
Utah guy in there to replace the guy that has personal issues.
They're going to get waxed by Texas Tech. Don't worry.
Oh my God.
They're going to get waxed. We're going to jump them. Don't worry about Utah.
It's insane.
Don't worry about
we need to get Joe like on these ACC committees and the executive councils and everything. We need to get
Dan.
some.
Dan's got clout. Dan's got clout.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that's the show. That's the recap. We'll be back at it this week. So this is going to be huge. We're going to have the rankings come out on Tuesday. So Wednesday's show is going to be all about that. We'll preview a Va-Tech game that should be hopefully just another dominating performance. So we'll be focusing most of our stuff on the CFP rankings. And we'll see what happens. But this is it, man. This is crunch time. But the boys did it, Ro. They did it. They showed up and took care of business. It was
fun. I've been going to watch those games a long time. You have a defensive performance. I don't know if I've ever seen an offense score about 600 yards, a defense almost pitching a shutout. It was a starter shutout. We'll coin that term. It was a starter 100%, shutout.
Yes.
Let's not beat around the bush here. I don't think I've seen that kind of a dominating performance against a NC State team, and they have a winning record. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's one thing if you do it to like a Boston College, some team that's defunct, ravaged with injuries, who knows? Yep. But that was their most complete game on the season.
Mm-hmm.
And it, man, again, you put Pringle in there. I said that would be a good move. You opened up the offense, got into your bag a little bit more. It seems like it's working. Just keep doing it. But you know what? Think about the next rate of change. Think about what's going to happen next. Think about what teams could possibly do to you. Lock in now on the coaching staff. What are teams going to do to us? How are teams going to stop this new version of us? Now Pedro Serrano, we know he can hit a fastball. Now he can hit a curveball. So guess what? Where's the changeup? Find the changeup, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Find it. Find it now. Find it now so that when that changeup comes, you're squared away. If you think this is the game plan I got going in, make a second one the next 2 weeks. No, I'm dead ass.
No, 100%. And listen.
Make a third one. Make a third one. Just say, if we do this, if we see this, this is what we're doing. We're going to get into our bat. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And this is what we're going to do. And we feel like we're going to be the aggressor. And our defense is going to keep us in. Because here's the thing. Toast, here's the thing when your defense is this good. You owe it to your defense to figure it out offensively as fast as you can. That means I'm giving you a pass. Maybe you fail on a drive or 2 or 3, but you're not failing longer than that. You're going to figure it out. You're going to get on. You're going to do what you're going to do and ride off into the sunset.
Additionally, Mario can finish this season off going 4-1 in November, which would be something that this franchise hasn't done in a couple of generations. So, I mean, the SMU loss was great. November 1st, but you'd have 4 more wins. And we talked about that November schedule record. Was it like 5-15 or something?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
it was 4-11, something like that. Yeah, 4-11.
Yeah, you can start turning that around. Going 4-1 this year. Going 4-1 this year. That's a huge turnaround, man. Huge.
Yeah. And I think what I'm going to do for when we do student of the game preview, obviously I'm going to watch when Virginia Tech played last, but when we do the student of the game preview, I'm going to watch when Pitt just played Notre Dame because we have a common opponent, University of Miami Hurricane fans. You remember when we played Notre Dame, but we at least can go see what Notre Dame did and look how they look at the end of the year. So maybe we could get that.
And Jesse Palmer in that game today, man, just went out of his way to over and over, just talking about how this Notre Dame team is completely different from the first 2 weeks of the season. You're such a dick, dude. Like, just going out of his way to hammer that out. This is the same team that lost those first 2 games. No.
That's like me looking outside and being like, when the sun rose this morning and now I look out there, I'm like, wow, it doesn't look the same outside the window. No shit, dude. No team's the same way. It looks like some injuries. Some teams play better. Some teams don't. No team's the same way. No team's the same way at the end of the year. Oh, the team that lost twice. And some teams won twice and then lost the rest, and they don't look the same way. I don't take stock in it. I know you're rooting hardcore for the Irish and whatever, and maybe we get a rematch with them and we whip their ass again, and that's fun because I'll put the same soundbite out again if we end up facing the Irish again. I'm like, you know what? Last time you guys got mad at me because I said, just come down here. We don't know any of your names. We'll whoop your ass. We still don't know your names. And if we had the chance to play again, we'll whoop your ass again too. Okay? We ain't scared.
On that note, we will see you guys this week. New episode will drop at some point Thursday morning. And until then, go Canes.
Hey-oh!
Jenner's AO is much better.
Pretty good. It's strong,
So
man.
stupid.
It's strong.
It's better. You know why it's better? It's because it's like his version of making fun of his version, which is
It's an
better
imitation
than
of
all
an
the versions.
imitation. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes,
A mock of the
Hacksaw
imitation.
because Hacksaw Jim Duggan is the original, and that's what Scoop got. And then next thing you know, it's amazing. Bange.
Oh, God.